Have you ever just stared at a cake rising in the oven and wondered, how does that even happen? Or why toast gets that perfect golden brown color and delicious smell? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not magic. It is some seriously delicious science happening right in your own kitchen. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain. But before we dive in, just a quick heads up, this is part 14 of our 20-part series on an introduction to chemistry from Virtualization Options LLC. Okay, you ready? Let's get cooking with science. You heard that right. Your kitchen, it's pretty much a laboratory. Every single time you cook, you're not just, following a recipe. You're actually performing a series of controlled chemical reactions. And you're turning simple, basic ingredients into something complex, flavorful, and amazing. Seriously, think about it. What if every time you whisk something, or saute, or bake, you're basically putting on a lab coat and playing the role of a chemist? Because you are. You're manipulating molecules, you're kicking off reactions, and you're creating entirely new things to eat. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, let's start with maybe one of the most satisfying things in all of baking, getting that light, airy, fluffy texture in a cake or a loaf of bread. The secret here isn't some fancy technique. Nope, it's a classic chemical reaction. So here's how it works. Baking soda is what we call a base. Now, when you mix that base with something acidic, think buttermilk or lemon juice or even vinegar, it kicks off a reaction. And that reaction produces something you know very well, carbon dioxide gas. Those tiny little gas bubbles get trapped right inside the batter, and then when you put it in the oven, the heat makes them expand. That is what gives your baked goods that incredible lift. It's just a simple acid-base reaction with a totally delicious result. All right, next up, let's talk flavor. You know that beautiful golden brown color you get on toast or a seared steak or sautéed onions? That's not just for looks. It is a sign that a really powerful flavor-generating reaction is going on. This amazing process is called the Maillard reaction, and honestly, it is the source of so many of our favorite tastes. When you apply heat to food that has both amino acids and sugars in it, you set off this incredible cascade that creates hundreds, literally hundreds of new flavor and aroma compounds. It's the difference between a sharp raw onion and a sweet, deeply flavorful caramelized one. Just think about that transformation for a second. Before the reaction, you've got pretty simple ingredients. But after you hit them with some heat, wow, you get this complex symphony of savory, nutty, roasted flavors. This one single reaction is responsible for the rich taste of everything from your morning coffee to a bar of chocolate. All right, for our final trick today, let's tackle a really common kitchen problem. We all know it. Oil and water just do not mix, right? If you try to shake them up in a jar, they'll separate almost instantly. So, how in the world do we create creamy sauces like mayonnaise or a perfectly blended vinaigrette?
I love this quote because it gets right to the point. Mayonnaise shouldn't exist. Based on the basic rules of chemistry, a stable, creamy blend of oil and something water-based like lemon juice, it just shouldn't be possible. But of course, we all know it is.
The solution, the hero of the story, is something called an emulsifier. You can think of it like a molecular peacemaker. It's this special kind of molecule that has two different ends. One end is attracted to water, and the other end is attracted to oil. So it literally acts as a bridge, grabbing both and holding them together. And in the case of something like mayonnaise, the secret ingredient doing all this work is called lecithin, and you find it in egg yolks. The lecithin molecules surround these tiny little droplets of oil. Their oil-loving ends point inwards, grabbing the oil, while their water-loving ends point outwards. This lets all those oil droplets just stay suspended in the lemon juice, creating that smooth, creamy texture we all know and love. So as you can see, a few simple chemical principles can create some pretty incredible results in the kitchen. But the real takeaway here is that once you understand why these things are happening, you can actually start to take control in your own kitchen laboratory. So here it is, your kitchen chemistry cheat sheet. It really just boils down to these three simple ideas. You need something to rise, use an acid and a base. You want deep, complex flavor, use heat to get that Maillard reaction going. And if you need to combine oil and water, you just need to find an emulsifier. These are the core rules you can start playing with. And this is probably the most empowering part of all. When you get the science behind the cooking, you're no longer just blindly following a set of instructions. You can start to improvise, to troubleshoot when things go wrong, and even invent new things. You really do become a culinary creator, designing your own delicious experiments. So, the next time you step into your kitchen, just remember the science you have at your fingertips. You are a chemist,
Your pantry is full of reactants waiting to go. The only real question left is, now that you know the rules, what are you going to create in your lab?